What's up? Welcome to a new video. I have a rest day today, so I thought I would do something else because I still want to post every day. But of course, I don't have a training on a rest day. So I figured, why not do some questions from you guys? So I'm in the car just because I like sitting in my car. And I'm gonna just get the Q&A questions in front of me right now. Okay. First question. What do you expect from your first show? I expect that it's gonna go well. I have to be honest, I don't want to sound cocky, but I do know that I have potential in this sport, and I think that'll show on stage. However, I have never been on stage. I don't have the experience that the guys have over there, and I could totally fail. And that's also a reality I have to face. I could fail my peak week, I could fail my dieting phase I'm in right now, I could get injured. Whatever happens, it could happen. I know that from last year. So even though secretly I know that I have potential, I'm not gonna tell myself that, because if I don't give it 100%, then I might still lose, and that will be a shame. So that's how I look at it. How do you keep track of your health when it comes to using gear? A few things. I work with a coach, so my gear stack is customized to the needs of my body and to the way that my body responds to the substances I'm using. Then second thing is I'm being monitored by a doctor when it comes to blood work, and my coach also looks at that blood work to decide what we're gonna do. Third thing is I do organ tests also through my doctor. So we've tested my heart twice now to see if there was any difference in the thickness of the heart, because hypertrophy in the heart muscle can actually lead to a significant difference in the ability for it to pump blood, and dramatically increases your risk of heart attacks. So I'm very aware of that, and I am treating it as responsible as I can. So yeah, and then the last thing, I am being monitored also again by my coach on everything that we do. So this thing measures a lot of my vitals as well, but we watch sleep, we watch my food, we watch my cardio, we watch my resting heart rate change. All that stuff is being monitored. So if all of a sudden things happen to me, because I'm so busy with what is happening all the time, if something deviates from that regular rhythm, we can immediately take action. I had an example that was in the peak of my bulk. I weighed in at 123 kilos, and all of a sudden I was out of breath with everything. I stood up, I was out of breath. I walked up the stairs, I was out of breath, and that was very scary to me. Turned out I was just a bit overwhelmed in my head, and I was a bit too heavy, but I immediately contacted my doctor. We tested my heart, we tested my blood, and everything was good, and I went away within a week. But that does go to show that I take this stuff serious. I really do, because an Olympic trophy is not gonna come when I'm dead. How do you grow as tall as possible? Man, just eat good food and don't injure yourself whilst training. You don't really have a say on how tall you grow. All you can do is make sure that you don't impede your growth when it comes to growing taller. For instance, if your potential is 185 and you eat bad, well then of course your body can't get that. But if you eat perfect and you do anything, you're not gonna grow past 185. It's just, sorry, it's not meant to be then. How about your social life in prep? Friends, girlfriends, family, girlfriend, family. Well, very hard. Last year I had a lot of trouble with that, because my friends and I myself also did not understand why I was so, I went inwards a lot. I didn't talk to my friends that much, and back then I didn't have a girlfriend yet, and my family was also a bit like, what is going on? And this year I thought retrospectively on how I was in my last prep, and I figured out, okay, these are behavioral tendencies I have when I'm lowering calories. For instance, I would not text friends as much. I would hate to have people around me all the time because it would just overwhelm me. Then when it came to food, I need to sit down and enjoy and be present when I'm eating my food. I seem less happy, and I communicated that towards my family, friends, and my girlfriend I have now, to make sure that they don't think that something is going on that I need help with. And so far that has gone pretty well. I told my girlfriend, like, hey, if I'm not as responsive, know that it's not you. It's me who just doesn't have the energy to do it. I feel great, honestly, I really do feel great, but I don't out it because I physically don't have the energy to do so. And then my friends who want to train with me, I tell them, I'm sorry, I'm in prep, and you know, and all I have to say right now is I'm in prep, and you know I can't do that. And they're like, yeah, okay, good, set your priorities. Same with my mom. She knows when I eat, please don't interrupt me unless it's really necessary, or just approach me in a subtle way, because I not that I'm gonna get aggressive or whatever, but it just bothers me more quickly. So to summarize that, it's two things. Think about your own actions and why you do stuff on a objective level. So why, so what behavior am I showing that I have to be communicative about? And then to turn that back around, be communicative about it towards the people around you. That's how I've been dealing with it. So, besides getting your pro card, what are your other ambitions for classic physique? I take it as it goes. I am passionate about this sport, but I also know that it can be dangerous, so I take it day by day, or not necessarily day by day, but more period by period. So I'm in a period of cutting right now, prep, and depending on how I do this period and how I manage this, I will decide, okay, what's the next step. Also, my coach decide for me. For instance, we can go for a pro qualifier. If he says no, we need to work a bit more, we will work a bit more. This year we will try to, of course, go for a pro qualifier. But then again, I first have to do my regional. So I can think like, okay, I want to go to the Olympia or whatever. I have not done my amateurs yet. Okay, I need to focus on this stuff first. And that also makes sure that I don't get overwhelmed by everything that I possibly could be. So, who are you looking up to? There's a few people who I look up to. There's of course the physical aspect, which is Chris Bumstead. It's a pretty straightforward answer. Then when it comes to the mental part, also Chris Bumstead. I mean, he shows that you can really still be a normal person who's respectful towards others, and I think that that's very good. When it comes to training mentality, it's trained by JP. Just the mentality of you have limited time and limited potential in the gym, so make sure that you maximize that part, and don't think about it too hard. It's all very logical if you think about it. If you have your recovery, if you have your, they always need to be in balance to maximize your growth. And once you figure that out, it's actually pretty easy to just build muscle. If I don't sleep good, well then of course I'm not going to recover good, so I'm not going to get out of it what I want. So it's that's someone, it's just a training hard mentality, and that's where Dorian Yates also comes into play, because the way they train, it takes a bit much, but I like that. I like watching videos of those guys before I go to the gym. Yeah, I think also Noel Dazel, it's a guy who's been following me since 2,000 followers. It's an absolute blessing. He's supported me throughout all of this, but again, he shows that you can go higher in the sport and yet still stay grounded. I mean, he is very high up there, yet he still treats everyone like a person, and I think that is very important, and I really look up to that, as in how he does that. I think those are the people that have the most impact on me. Of course, Wesley Vissers, Dutch bodybuilder, same story, looks amazing, shows that we Dutch people can also get on that stage, so of course there's a bunch of people that I look up to, but those are the main ones. Comes down to posing, it's probably Rough Diesel, Flex Wheeler with the symmetry and stuff. There's some good guys out there. What do you think is the best way of training? High intensity training that you like. Let me start off by saying that. And for me, that's high intensity training where I maximize growth within 2 sets. And to just get out of the gym the moment you stimulate the muscle enough. So for me, I noticed that 2 sets until total failure, for a total of 6 sets per muscle group, even 4 sometimes, will maximize growth for me, because I can deliver that intensity. That's also an important aspect. If you can't deliver that intensity yet, for instance, you just started going to the gym, or you're not that confident in the exercises you do, then you're not going to be able to give 100% intensity because you're not used to it yet. So I'd say, depending on where you are in your training career, the more advanced you get, the less volume you're gonna need, because you are able to deliver more intensity. Top 3 whey flavors. Well, of course, I'm sponsored by ESN, so I would say cinnamon cereal number 1, vanilla number 2, and then birthday cake. We had that, but that's a limited edition, so I don't think it's available anymore. Anything with cinnamon, basically. We had the speculoos whey. That's a 10 out of 10. Can you please show a daily pic of Bram in your Instagram stories? Yeah, I'll do that. You guys love Bram a lot, and so do I, so I think that's a good idea. I should have brought something like water or something, because I am thirsty from all the talking. Rather train alone or with a partner? Alone. I can get the best intensity when I train alone. Especially now in prep, I need you to leave me alone, because when I train alone, I can get into the videos on my phone. I know I'm on my phone a lot while training, but there's just a ton of videos on there that motivate me. For instance of Dorian, for instance of Train by JP, Chris Bumstead, Flex Wheeler, whatever. And that's how I get motivated a lot. So if you had to pick any other job, what would you pick? I worked in a swimming pool for a while, and I really enjoyed working with kids. That's something I've always really enjoyed doing. The tiniest stuff, they would come up to me with the tiniest things, like, oh yeah, I have this cool Pokemon card, and I would just freak out, and we would have this wholesome moment, because they really make the smallest things the biggest things in their life, because it is very big to them. And I always really enjoyed that, how they can just be so happy with almost nothing. And a teacher within PE, I think. So physical education I would really like to work in. Yeah, or something with training. When I'm older, I would love to have my own gym, or I would just like to be a personal trainer again, because I've done that for a while as well. However, I did it in a gym with a lot of elderly people, and that did not give me what I wanted it to give me. Now I need someone to accept the fact that I will tell you how to train and that you need intensity. And if you work with people who are not really passionate about going to the gym, what you'll end up having is someone that just tells you 100 times that, oh yeah, I would actually rather eat McDonald's. I know you would, I can see that. But please respect me and respect the things I'm trying to teach you. So, personal training with people who do it seriously. And that will be my answer. Who are your top 3 bodybuilders? Top 3 bodybuilders of all time. I have a hard time picking the number 3, because I'm not really a fan of just size. To be honest, I really like Ramon Dino. He's almost got this perfect physique, so I might actually place him on number 3. When it comes to aesthetics, Ramon, Chris, and then Flex Wheeler. When it comes to overall size, I think Keon Pearson on number 1, Ronnie Coleman number 2, and Phil Heath number 3. My favorite gym exercise, I would say that's a chest press. I can deliver a lot of intensity, and it gives me a chest pump. So, I mean, what more do you want? What gear are you using? Well, This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a long while. I am not going to be honest about what I'm using. Why? I'm going to tell you that right now, and that is because what I'm using is adjusted to how my body responds. I have this very good example. I have a lot of people I know within the bodybuilding industry, and I know their cycles, and I've talked to them, but the stuff they are on will give me very high blood pressure. And for instance, the stuff I'm on will make them bald within half a year. The way you respond to androgens is, it differentiates so much. There are certain compounds I've tried within my career that when I use them, my blood pressure will go up to 160 plus, and that's unhealthy for me. So, no, for everyone actually. So what I did with my coach is, of course, we started off with the basic, I can be honest about that, of course, testosterone. You see how you respond to that. Then you slightly increase, decrease, find the sweet spot. Then you go over to the next compound, find the sweet spot. You go over to the next compound. You try and figure out how your body responds to certain compounds, and after a while we figured out how my body works and what I respond good to. For instance, I have very low affinity to DHT derivatives when it comes to hair loss, so hair loss is not really a problem for me so far. So for me, DHT derivatives, they work pretty good. They work fine. I'm on some very light stuff actually. Of course, they're still anabolics, so don't get me wrong, I can still die. But for me, this works. But if I were to give you the same stuff, you might actually develop some pretty bad liver problems. Liver failure, maybe even your hair will fall out, you will get terrible acne. So again, build it up, try and find out what works for you. And believe me when I say that there is a lot of strength in lower dosages. Everyone I've talked to said the same thing, because the more stress you put on your body when it comes to anabolics, because if you're very high in anabolics, you're not going to be able to recover as good, because you're putting your body under a lot of stress. I mean, if your kidneys and your liver and everything is getting damaged, you're not going to be able to do the things you need to do. Your appetite is going to go down. You're going to feel bad. Mentally you might go the other way. I do not go very well on high testosterone. My mental state will really decrease when I'm on high testosterone. So I'm saying the same thing a million times right now. I'm sorry. It's very personal, and what my cycle does for me might end up killing you. So work with a coach and try and figure out what works for you. I think that's enough for now. I hope I have enough footage. I'm on 22 minutes, so I think it's fine for now. I would love to do these things weekly. So next time, please comment a bit more, because these were all the questions that I found normal enough to answer. Of course, I've got some weird stuff in there. So yeah, that's it for now. Like, subscribe. Siri just popped up. Comment your questions down below for next week. And thank you for watching. If you want to support me, use my code on YoungLA, GymPin or ESN. Yeah, that's it for now. Bye bye.